Okay, let's start. New Bim skills at World Skills and the opportunities with BRICS challenge. So I decided to make the following presentation. I put several parts, and initially we will talk about what does it mean World Skills. Next will be about the Bim skill in particular, and the last section will be about the BRICS challenge and skill camp. So after each of the section, I will have a small Q&A session, and you could ask your question. So initially, what does it mean, world skills, and uh, how it works? So world skills as really as a special international organization started just after the Second World War in Spain. The main idea was, the main aim was to bring the best practice to the new generation and to really have created some mechanism of transfer the best practices in several jobs across the country. What went very well, and from one country movement it's become to be international. So right now WorldSkills International consists of 86 country members, and these country members is organized the work in own countries. Every 2 years it will be happens a world championship. It means each of the country members can send the young professional to that competition and to really to understand who is the best, and really to get additional impact from the best skills, the state of the art knowledge, and bring back to the country. Uh, Last year, this World Championship happens in Russia, in Kazan in 2019. And if you see on the screen, there were 63 participants, country participants of 86 country members. So some countries decided just to come and to watch how the competition are going. And I expect next year it will be more countries who send real competitors. The competition happens in 56 skills, and altogether it was 1,353 participants on the competition. And what was new, it was a special section which called Future Skills. Future Skills was developed by our Russian WorldSkills committee, and they wanted to showcase some new skills, which the skills of 21st century. And it was 50 new skills. Beam was one of these new skills, and it was additionally 156 competitors. How it works? Honestly speaking, initially the aim was about vocational education, but over time, as the new skills appeared, it's really expanded the restriction. And right now, whereas, for example, some new skills like cybersecurity or cloud computing, which allowed participation also students from the universities. Uh, another good thing is there is embedded a mechanism of updating the skill content. So each world championship competition, the expert after the competition are sitting together and reviewing the technical description of each skills, trying to understand what is outdated, what came new to the particular occupation, to particular job, and how we can really improve their skills. So that's why it's embedded mechanism of always have best practices, and these practices came back from the industry to the education. So that's why it works very well. If we're talking about the countries who participated, there is a special map which introduces how it works. And if you see worldskills.org URL and members, that is the map where all countries are presented on the map, and you can, there is a list of countries. You can really check if your country is here and who is responsible in your country for the world skills. World skills is very good supported from Autodesk. At least last year I saw very good support. And here on the screen you can see this uh, support from the Autodesk. First of all, from the left side, you can see the skill, a list of skills where Autodesk software is used. So you see it's really a huge number of that skills. Uh, there are several skills where Autodesk is direct partner of the skills. For example, this mechanical engineering CAD, it's number 5. In that skills, all competitors use Autodesk Inventor. There is another example is number 16. It's called electronics. They right now use Eagle as a software, and since the last competition, it's a great opportunities for Autodesk to be there and promote their products. For for future skills, you see in the last line, Autodesk was a partner of the full area, and it's mean from 15 skills, 12 used Autodesk software. And that was really a great showcase of advantage of these technologies, because future skills and Autodesk was a really joined, and that was a great opportunities to promote this software. One of these future skills is Bim Skill, and you can see in the middle is awarding ceremony from the skill, and you see the flag from Ireland. So Irish team won the competition. So that's really awarding ceremony, and you see how excited were the participant. And the silver and bronze was awarded from Russia and Belarus team, so we shared the silver place, and you can see the city staying together. Additional information about why Autodesk is participating, if you see uh, down to the screen, in the middle there is a gentleman. He's a technical engineer from Autodesk, and he simultaneously lead the one of the skill. It's called Manufacturing Team Challenge. From the left side is lady. She lead the skill which is Mechanical Engineering Design CAD, and she's community manager by Autodesk. She right now work as this expert, but right now from a right side you see two gentlemen, and one of them is the current the expert from Russia for that skill, and he's Autodesk expert elite. So I mean, one of 500 global best expert who knows Autodesk products. Why Autodesk really in Russia at least supported the skills so much? It's very easy. You see, the World Skills International gives a framework, the framework which each country can use on their own level, how they want. And originally, Russia really had the skill of had a goal to increase their vocational education, because the Russian vocational education was the same as its Soviet time, so it was really old and outdated. The Russian WorldSkills joined in 2012, and you see the first result was really nothing. Russian team at Sao Paulo in the first competition they participated, uh, got the last place among countries. They won no medal at all, but it was really a challenge and they really did a great job. So during these last years, they implemented WorldSkills competition in country. They required what each region will make it necessary for all vocational institutions to participate, and over the time they increase the level of the vocational education. So that was the first result. Secondly, they understood what there is the requirement for training for professional, not only in vocational education, but also by companies, big state companies who again need to have a system which enables their workers for retraining. So that's why we started to work with big companies and use the same principles, go there. They saw these requirements in the uh, universities, and so they decided to did a special competition for the university students. There was a huge interest by schools, so they started a junior skills to showcase young school children what does it mean, and but help them to have a better understanding about profession, about life. So that's why really some kind help to go it forward. Companies uh, is high tech. They decided it's only company competition, uh, and company sent their representative to compete. We have special program for people in pre-retirement age, so 50 plus, who again to stay on the job market, we need to be trained and to or retrained. And we have a special competition for located to the industry. For example, logistics skills, it was made with the Ministry of Transportation, and we gather the competences around the transportation logistic. And what else we did? Really understood what these 56 skills is not enough. So that's why in Russia there is about 250 skills on Russian level. So I mean, additional to 56, it's about 200 new skills was developed in country to support the education here, and it's really good result. And why again Autodesk participated and supported the competition, just because it's a very effective tool to promote Autodesk software, to showcase all benefits and the additional outcome. It's a very good tool to work with large companies who otherwise sorry, could not consider it's really participate or talk to Autodesk sales, but through the WorldSkills they they see what's it's really a good tool. The best people in the world work with all these solutions. So that's why it's again it's another entry point to the industry. It's a great marketing tool to showcase the benefits of this software, and again working with education will prepare the new generation of customers, the generation of clients to Autodesk. and we help to all these clients to have skillful graduates who come on their working job place and immediately provide payback from their investment in software. So you all come from the partner network, and you would also wondering why, what is really possible benefit to you. So uh, again, I mentioned here, first of all, if you work with education, you can strengthen your position, because WorldSkills, it's some kind of country prestigious thing. If the team participates very well, it immediately comes to the highest interest, high attention from these politicians. So at least in Russia, Mr. Putin meets with all teams, so it's one of his likes to do it, and it's immediately, if you were help your team to prepare to participate, it's immediately comes really improve your brand, your influence there. Again, if you're talking about the benefit for the country, through WorldSkills, they all participants have to know and use very good Autodesk software. It's really, otherwise they could not win, they could not successfully participate. So I put here Bim workflow, but I mean any software which in many skills which were mentioned before, they could use it. It's really, yeah, works. Uh, Another indirect benefit, you see, education can use different software for different vendors. If you come in with a WorldSkills, to them it's a very good argument to decide to use only the Autodesk software. And for the World Championship, I saw an example. It was in Singapore. The Singaporean team came from one polytechnic college. They use Revit, but they use also in our direction, infrastructure, our solutions. But as it was required for participation at WorldSkills to use all the solution only, they decided to use in their curriculum all this software only. If you're talking again long term, the next point, you working with students, you create engineers who knows your company. You can find very good uh, good employees for your own, and if you're working well, you will be the first choice whom we will call if we will not need support, or we will need buy some software from Autodesk. Very interesting point, it's about training business opportunities. So I mean, even on if the companies or even countries would like to better prepare their teams for national level, they have usually budget to do it. And even on the local level, so I mean, if a competition will start on the local level, each university or each vocational school would like better prepare the students. So it's mean they could probably find some budget to train it, and you will be the organization who can provide these services. And finally, it's again about commercial business opportunities. And I mean, I saw it in Russia. Many companies, if you're talking about national team, uh, were ready to support to the national team preparation, just because even thanks letter from a national team really brings what's the best national teams use your services, and you can strengthen your position in your commercial world. Additionally, there is very good case studies, for example, in UK or in Russia, when a of a winner of a competition, country level competition, was immediately hired by companies who really sees a benefit because they hired best of the best in the country for the BIM, so for BIM service. I mean, that's possible for any skills which you saw, but I saw it's in UK. Company hired the three people who was the three best people. They hired all three. In Russia this the same, and that's again, having that in mind will really help strengthen your position on commercial business as a commercial service provider. So all that benefits, okay, it really works. I saw all how it works in any in any aspect. Some of them can apply you, some not, but that's all really benefits which you as partner can have. So in that moment, I really finish the first part. It's common understanding about world skills. Is there any immediate question? Because after we'll touch about BIM skills, about skill camp, is there right now any common understanding about world skills, about benefits, etc. Now? You can unmute your phone if you would like to ask. So I think it's no question, we can go forward. So right now we come to the BIM skill. So BIM skill. Uh, BIM skill is really very new skill, and it's maybe really youngest among the skills which were presented last year in Kazan. So honestly speaking, we are 2 years old. Exactly two, by the way, exactly 2 years ago, the Ireland did the competition with individual competition with BIM. Russia did it in team competition. It was a little bit later, but 2 years ago, two countries on the local level started with skill. So that's why it's really very new. All skills Russia, however, understood the requirements or necessity from build skills by industry, not only in Russia but worldwide. So that's why World Skills Russia, preparing the Kazan World Championship, decided to include BIM skills to the future skill area. So as I mentioned, it's skills of 21st century, which could become the official skills at World Skills International, uh, and that went very well. So as we decided to move it globally, I came here, so I joined with, started to support World Skills Russia with all international activities. We had very high interest to our skills. So I mean, we were really future skills. We were limited in space, but our BIM skills was the first skills who get who get application for all places which was available. So several countries was not able to participate just because there were no more place there. So, but it is really, I think it's a really great interest. And another good thing, you see, when my first sentence here was, it was two approaches: individual competition, team competition. If you see or look on the pictures, you see the awarding ceremony in Kazan. It was the team competition, but we worked together with WorldSkills International, and this joint international expert team came to the, first of all, to the agreement about how this Bim skills should looks like. So that's why initially we came to conclusion how we can use it both in individual format or a team format. And after, in a while, we discuss with all skills competition what's for international level. It will be individual competition, and the reason is very simple. Just because if we have individual competition, it will reduce the cost for participation, and it's especially very important for countries from MEA region. So that's why if the competition in Kazan was in team competition, for the global competition it will be individual competition. So, however, we in Russia still have a team competition, and we do it consciously, just because it better adapted to our education system, currently at least education system, and we will continue to work on local level. If we will come to global, we will use individual one. Here is the link to download. If you will not able to see, I can share that with you. But if you're talking about framework, it's we took a UK Beam framework, and we have here the Beam modeler, and partly for that skills we also took part of a Beam coordinator. So it means it's model for visual coordination. Officially it be called to coordinator, but we use it. Okay, a little bit we touch about model audit, and they have to be able to read execution plan. So I mean, it's really advanced modeler or modeler slash coordinator who is very advanced. And if you look on the picture on the bottom of the page, that was original model which used for the competition. So I mean, we do that really reduction. So it was a real project. So what if you're talking, if I talked about the best practices and industry level, it was really the original model was a real project which really made it a little bit easier. So it's really we took only the central part and adapted to the condition what that task could be given to all countries, so from any part of the world, without any country specific. So that's why the most challenge for preparing the task was really, first of all, find the model, a real model, which could be given to the competition. And secondly, to bring to a stage when that model could be done by any students across the world. So, and in reality, our industry partner did remodeling this project to able let it to the competition. So and when I mention the technical description which was agreed with Volskis International, that's how this document looks like. So I mean that is the really working document. However, we already during the championship found some areas which we can already improved. And if we will talk about the next stage, well, probably we will do some improvement when our skills will become to be official. And here I would like mention this slide. What's the Bim skills is recommended to become to be official for the next World Skills World Championship. So I mean, what does it mean this recommendation? It does not mean what we will be the official automatically become to be official. It's mean what the WorldSkills International received several proposals from the different skills, from different countries, sorry, for the skills. They assessed it and they decided what these 9 skills can be really presented, proposed to the General Assembly of all country members, and this General Assembly will select several which will be officially recognized as official skills. So I don't know which one will be selected. It depends from technical delegates from any country, WorldSkills country members, and so I really would like to do everything possible what they will recognize the importance of our skills, they'll recognize requirements from the local industry and the necessity to have skillful graduates in countries. So that will really increase the chance what Bim skills will become to be official, at least at the next World Championship. Otherwise, we will have 2 additional years to spread it forward, and it will become to be official in 4 years. But anyway, so that's what I'm right now doing that, and hope we could together made it faster. So that is the part was about Bim skill. Is there any question concerning that part about Bim skill? Again, you can unmute and you can ask your question. So I don't see any questions so far. Okay, let's go forward. My last section is about Beam Skill Camp, and this Skill Camp is a part of BRICS Future Skills Challenge, and the reason is very easy. First of all, WorldSkills Russia would like to promote several future skills or several local skills to global level. And secondly, Russia now is the head of this BRICS country union. So that's why they thought the politicians thought that will be really good opportunities to organize such event. That competition will consist of 2 parts. First of all, is skill camp. So it's really introduction of our skill to national teams. And secondly, the BRICS challenge. Skill camp is necessary just because, for example, the Beam skill is not known to any other countries except Russia. So last year, as I mentioned, China wanted to participate, but they was too late to apply, so they was not able to participate. So any of this country are new to skills, and I agree with WorldSkills Russia. Votes for the skill camp. There will be no restriction from the countries, so that's why skill camp is open for everyone. However, the really BRICS challenge, which will happen in November, it will be only for BRICS countries. So that is really the current situation. If we're talking about the skills which will be offered, and I took it, you see, it's different layout. I took the presentation which WorldSkills Russia presented to the local WorldSkills communities. What is this 18 skills? And you see the people who prepared, for example, this list. For example, they translated from Russian to English, so that's why building information modeling. It's called now information modeling technologies. Number 7, but it's mean BIM, and you should not mistaken if you will see on some communication from WorldSkills Russia if they called it BIM information modeling technology. So I already informed them. They started to change it, but not every, let's say, slide was already changed. So I took this original slide which we did, and if your country WorldSkills committee received some information from WorldSkills, what was BIM was under this name. I would mention about another skills which could be also interesting to you if you work in some variety of Odesk products. First of all, it's the number 14th Manufacturing Team Challenge. We will use many manufacturing products from Autodesk, Inventor, and etc. Secondly, it's number 5, Industrial Design Technology, because we will use Fusion 360. At least I know about these two skills for sure. And unfortunately, I'm not sure about uh, our skills. So I knew, for example, in number 3, drone operation, we again will provide some opportunities for use different tool. Two of them is Odesk product, it is Inventor or Fusion 360, but there is also one option of SolidWorks, but at least two Odesk products are there. And it could be really, yeah, as the Autodesk is not official partner of a BRICS challenge because it's initiatives not of WorldSkills International, it's initiative of WorldSkills Russia. So that's why Autodesk is not partnering for that competition and not required to use only on Autodesk technology for that competition. So that's why it can be different from the Kazan competition, so they can use. But anyway, there are several other skills which could be interesting for you if you're talking and having in mind our Autodesk software. About Beam Skill Camp. So framework, it is the last week in July. It will be online, so no travel required. Main goal is really to get introduction of the BIM skills to the audience. And I also discussing with WorldSkills Russia what maybe we will have additional day for introduce the BIM skills to technical delegates or some other people who don't know what does it mean BIM, what does it mean, what's about the requirements or demand for the BIM, etc. So to really show them the demand, to show to them the importance and why they should derive the skill in their countries. And we will do some emulation of a real competition. So I mean, we will prepare several tasks which will be in accordance to the technical description, and the people have to do it to participants from countries on their own. We will recommend really to do a real simulation, let's say, so of a competition, but the idea is following what we will do, and then expert will really decide how to assess. So I mean, there is a special procedure of assessment. There is a special form which called marking scheme, which is will be used for assessment of any teams, any countries. It is the same, and it is possible to do this assessment. Concerning the content, what we will ask, it will be 5 days, 4 modules. So we divided one modules to two to adapt to different time zones. So and you can see what's during these 5 days students have to do. So it's really uh, some not screenshot, but some part of a global technical description. We a little bit adapted it just to fit to shorter time which we will have. But in principle, that are the main modules from the real test project, from real test task at the at the World Championship. And if we're talking about really the current status, so I have shared with some of you already the initial uh, the initial proposal which we developed from a skill team, and I sent it to WorldSkills Russia, and they working right now with other BRICS WorldSkills committees. But what we are doing now, we're really trying to define the best suitable conditions for all countries. Uh, so, so that's why I see what's the initial project, the initial proposal which I developed is not really so strong. So it's will be no real competition like I was thought initially. It will be more like a workshop. And so you see, I make it several disclaimer here about agreement with WorldSkills Russia, but it looks it will be really we will share the task with the countries. Countries could run it on their own for their students in the time when it will be more suitable, but we would recommend to have a time constraint like any other competition, real competition has. And after we will probably have a joint communication with an expert. We will took, for example, one of the Russian participants, and we'll try to do and to try to assess their work. So having that exercise, you could better understand the assessment criteria, why this work was assessed or got several marks, and not because it's which is a really variety of marks, how this part of a job could be assessed. And after expert can using the same marking scheme and do assessment of their own teams. So it means the students will have a chance of let's say a real competition emulation. So it will works. Secondly, the expert will really understand the procedures, how it works, and really understand how the assessment will looks like and why it's assessed such way. And maybe we if WorldSkills Russia will let us know, we could really look through several documents which are required by the global championship with formality which is required. But in principle, if they will really let us work with a real system, assessment system, you will know all workflow and doc flow around the competition. So that is really the goal. So in principle, having that skill camp, you can initiate and run the same competition in your own countries because you will know the procedures. You will be able to talk to your own WorldSkills community about initiating the start of the Bim skills on your national level. And if we will decide to participate, then really be the first partner who can assess your country to do it. And if we're talking about really call to action, what is really the same we're following. So if you right now representing educational organization institution, you can really reach your WorldSkills community and requesting to participate in BRICS online skill camp. So as I mentioned, uh, that is a little bit bureaucratic organization, and to be able to formally participate, you should you should go this way. But as it is online, as it costs, I hope it will cost nothing to any national committees. I don't see any problem with that. Usually, WorldSkills local committees has another problem. If there is a new skill is appearing, we will be headaching with finding an educational organization who could form the national team. So I saw it when I prepared to the last year to World Championship, when I talked to technical delegates, the people who leads the country, WorldSkills, we're told, for example, okay, I will not mention the country, but one European country representative told me, yes, we know there is a demand for the BIM, we are ready, but we don't know which organization, which vocational schools we should contact to create, to form a national team. So that's why if the initiatives come from the ground, and it will require mm, almost nothing to do from the local WorldSkills committee, we're really welcome to support it. I saw this example last year in Belarus, where the students and teachers, educators initiated this process, and they really let the team come to Kazan. So that is really working environments, and all these people, all these local committees, if you come with your own proposal, and they will, if they will need, will don't need to do anything, they really just support you. So if you really all these training partners, so and if you work with educational organization, just inform them about the competition, the opportunities, and really help them to connect. And it will be great if you can assist in the preparation. And I mentioned before the ways, way how you can do it, and the benefits which you could get from doing that. And if you really represent WorldSkills community, just reach out to WorldSkills Russia. Right now, we are still, as I mentioned, the negotiation with BRICS countries. But if any countries would like to participate, at least for BRICS, it's no problem. It's just really official communication where I especially put here the photo of very good person is Anna Malinovskaya. She's responsible for the project manager for WASBRICS challenge. She's very responsive, and she can organize this invitation for your countries. No problem. I put here her address here. And if you will need additional information about the Bim skills, so WorldSkills really right now did arrange a special email for me. So one of the co-organizer, its address you see in WorldSkills, but you can also reach me through the acknowledge point email anyway. So that is the end of my presentation. The last point was about BRICS online skill camp about in Beam, which I mentioned. It is free, it is online, in any countries are welcome to participate. So in that case, I would wait for your questions. Please feel free to ask. In that case, you should really unmute your, yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Samia. Thank you, Alexei, from the presentation and from all this clarification. Please, I have just one question about the camp. Tunisia, you know, we are a partner from World Skills. But
Yeah.
if we can't reach, we try to reach the responsible, because since 2011 they signed this agreement with our World Skills, participate one in this competition, but after that there is no activities. If you can't reach, because I write an email to the responsible, found on the World Skills website, but he didn't reply to my email, and I tried to contact the government. If I can't do this, what is the solution?
Samia, thank you for your question. So I mean, I would recommend, because you see, from as it's still a little bit bureaucratic organization, I would recommend in that case write to Anna Malinovska with email. What you try to reach out the person, you could also mention the name and email, but no email, no response you got. And with question, could you represent Tunisia team, at least for Bim Skill Camp? So I mean, I get from I could imagine from a Russian point of view it will be okay, but that is really should be really official allowance from Volkswagen Russia.
Okay, thank you.
Please, any other question you can ask or write in the chat session. I see there is no other question. So this session is recorded. So right now I will finish the recording, and you I need chat just a second. Okay, about cost. Okay, now question I got. So right now I don't. Okay, it will be online online skill camp. I do not expect, so I really want to fair talking with you, I do not expect any cost from the country participants. So I mean, the participant has to have a computer. So I mean, it's hardware cost, but it's obvious to have some kind of computer. We will use Autodesk software, which is free to education. We will provide, it's really just your time and time of students to participate. So if we were talking about the time, so I was initially planned to have several for 1 hour to 2 hours introduction. So one for expert, one to participants. One is common, it's more targeted about the country delegates. And then during the competition, we will release each day a model to the experts. They can organize the competition on into your students on your own. And we will have a joint session together assessing the work of the Russian participants. What you can really understand, you see what the participants did, what's the and the assessment, and why we decided to grade or to make these marks. And after, you can do the same for your own teams. So I mean, that is really your time is involved and nothing else. Okay, please, another questions. So in the meantime, maybe I could really mention about the task, because you see on the World Skills World Championship, there is a rules. What the task will not be able to fulfill for 100% in a given time. So that is really a little bit difficult to understand for people from education, but it is really means what no one from participants will do for 100% this task. So we even have the World Class International even have a special procedure of assessing the difficulties, and they see the following: if the majority of the participants did the all test project and achieved about, from 60 to 70% of the highest possible mark, it's okay. So if it will be higher than 70, they got too light, too easy task. If it's below 60, the participants got too hard task. But so that is the way they assess. But the principles which they use, the task should not be able to do within a given time. So that's why, to me, as organizer of that event, is again additional challenge, just because if we will assess the all works based on the Russian participants, we we should also not be able to finish it. So that's why we're right now thinking how to do it. Maybe we will invite several participants from university. Maybe we will invite several participants from fresh graduates who right now started to work, but at least what we will be have some, let's say, uh, examples where people did something and we could really jointly assess. So that is really what's maybe something what happens just behind the scene, and what's one of the tasks which I am doing. So is there any other question? Because I see there is no new question appeared in the chat room. Nobody is talking. So in that case, I will finalize our call. So I will thank you for participation. I will